A lot of traders have a difficult time identifying setups with a good risk to reward ratio in real time. Everything is happening very fast in the markets, and you need to be able to quickly make decisions. In this trade breakdown, I'm going to show you how I trade NVDA using a clear level 2 signal and confirming it with the setups on my charts. So in this particular day, the markets were all gapping down and everything was looking particularly weak. During my pre-market prep, I come up with a trade idea to short AND if it broke below the previous day's low, which is right here at 214. And so most of the time, during the first few minutes of the open, I was really focused on AND and its price action to see if that opportunity was going to set up for me and if I was going to match when the plays my playbook. But while I was watching here, it actually looked pretty choppy. It was, going back and forth. It really couldn't break down much below the VWAP. And the orders of the level 2 are actually pretty balanced, which kind of reflected in this price action of it going back up and down, up and down. So, the trade opportunity that I've thought about and the bias I had to the short side here wasn't really appearing. So I had to start looking for other ideas, and I flipped to NVIDIA and I looked at its level 2. And what I immediately saw was there's a huge block of orders out here just above 178. And when I looked to the downside, I saw there were a lot of orders to the downside as well, which wasn't great either. But what really intrigued me here was there was this very clear ladder of orders going up to that big block of orders at 178. So for me, this actually looks like a very bullish song. So even though I had a bearish bias this day, because everything's gapping down, this looked like it might actually feel long. And so when I switched to the NVDA chart here, the first thing I saw was that there was this huge 1-minute engulfing candle. Now, usually I don't care much about engulfing candles on the 1-minute chart, but when it's right at the market open like this, it has more importance. Usually I prefer, engulfing candles on a 5-minute chart. So what I also saw, though, is right here is the previous day low. So I thought if I could get out and break this level, I would go long. I was kind of worried that there might be some bag holders here that had bought at yesterday's flow. And when it came back to this level, they would sell. So I just wanted to make sure we got above this level, and then I would go long. I would put my stop loss here just below the VWAP, because for me, this is a VWAP reclaim trade. And this is what my trade book says to do. And then my new target was going to be up in that 178 range where I saw all these orders, and I'd probably try and let it run up above that. I'd take some partials along the way. But if I look at this trade right now, I'm risking about 50 cents for the stock move $3. So that's a 6-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So that is a very good setup. That's been identified very quickly. And I have my plan already ready here. And I actually just setting my stop loss here. So it's ready to go, and I'm just waiting to see if we can break that 175 or that pre-market low. And it flies up then very quickly does, and I'm in the trade now. So I've gone long here. It held that level, and now it's going to stay in this trade and hopefully watch it fill all those orders to the upside, which it does. It actually does make it to 178. But what's important here is I had a bias going into today's trading of being short. And that's fine. I think it's very good to come up with trade ideas before the market opens. You look at the price action during the pre-market, what the market is doing in general. And today it was very bearish. Everything was selling off. But then when you actually start trading, you have to watch what is actually happening. You can't just blindly go on your bias. And in this case, I saw that NVIDIA was actually starting to appear very strong after a week open. And there was a potential for it to actually make a nice move upwards, which it eventually did. I'm going to take a partial up here at around 176, and then I'm going to continue to let it go. But that is the thought process that is going through my head and professional traders' heads when we're looking at the markets and thinking about taking a trade. So if you found this trade review helpful, give it a like and make sure to subscribe to my channel to get all my trade reviews. Until then, happy trading.